Okay, so this is the next update for the Star Destroyer build. We were able to get the resin sidewalls in a lot better using CA with a little bit of accelerator. I suspect there's a little bit of mold release on the resin pieces, so what we did is we used a little bit of just rubbing alcohol on the end of a Q-tip to kind of prep the pieces after we had them sanded and dry fitted properly. We glued them in. Those aren't going to go anywhere. That's the final position of the lower hull sidewall. And we were able to also put in the docking bay, the main docking bay on the bottom part. I think that came out well. Gonna need a little bit of filler right in here, but overall we're gonna get some real nice lighting, some ambient lighting going. There's like a little shelf in here. I don't know if you could see it very well on the camera, but there's a recess. Try and get in here with the hobby blade. Right back in here, that I plan on putting ambient lighting to kind of illuminate this entire docking bay. That way when the lights are off, you don't just see little pinholes in here. You could actually see the docking bay lit up the way it is in the movie. That way it'll give the more scale appearance. So moving on to the top hull, we kind of started the superstructure right here. I'm gonna have to modify this top piece because I'm not happy with it. I'm gonna go ahead and install similar pieces like I did on this bottom part of the superstructure, and we're just gonna cut in some of those detail pieces. That way it looks more scale and more consistent, more fluid with the rest of the model. And we'll go ahead and add those in here too. That's coming up soon. Of course, we're gonna have to punch a nice hole in here so we could route the wiring and all the lighting for the main superstructure right here. And we also cut in the turret emplacements on either side because it just had some real weak, molded in. You couldn't even make out that it was turret. It almost looked like panel lines in here that were supposed to be the turrets. So those got cut out. And then, as we reviewed before, we have the little turrets in here. I'm going to go ahead and pull these out and give you an idea of what it's going to look like, because these little pieces are just excellent. They're still in the flash, which is fine because I'm not ready to install them yet anyways, but those three-dimensional turrets are going to look a lot better than what was there, and it's really going to give this model the scale effect that we're looking for. So got 4 for each side. They got cut in pretty straight. Going to use a little bit of filler, that way it's seamless on some of these lines here because it's not perfect, but by the time it's done and painted you won't even know that those were cut in. Okay, with the panel lines up here, a couple of them weren't as straight as I wanted them to be. I was using just a straight edge. Some of them I did freehand. So on the ones I'm not satisfied with, I'm just going to fill with some putty. I'm going to get that thick Dymo label making tape, stick it down, and I'm going to scratch out some of the panel lines the proper way. I have a couple of tools that I've been using. I've tried out 2 different tools. We have this panel scriber by Trumpeter, I don't know. Just got a cheap one at the local hobby store. It works pretty well, but I think the panel line scriber for the money is going to be the Tamiya plastic scriber. It's the version 2, has a retractable blade. We're going to go ahead and cut in the rest of the panel lines on the top hull once we get that tape, and I think it's going to look really nice with everything all together. So we have the engines in here. Those will all go in. I'd say hopefully we could start getting ready to do the fiber optics and some of the lighting in about the next week or 2. We're going to punch out the holes here. These are all going to be lit. thinking about doing blue on the main engines and then white on the smaller engines. They might all be the same color. They might all be white. They might all be blue. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to play around with the colors before I do anything final. See what looks the best. And other than that, you could just cut it there, honey.